we would have to borrow. We couldn't finance it from our own internal resources. And the more we borrowed, the bigger our debt service would become. And in fact, there was a scheduled moment in 2004, had we not done our proper financial management, that our expenditures, including debt service, would have been bigger than our budget, than our tax revenues. And that would have been really a financial collapse of our country. But quietly, without headlines, because how do you headline a restructuring of debt with foreign creditors? It's too technical. We did it, and no financial crisis happened. And then in 2005, our senators and our congressmen helped us with our financial and our tax reforms. Bitter medicine to raise taxes. We took the bitter medicine of economic reforms those years ago, but those efforts have helped to create a firewall that softened the pressures arising from the global economic downturn. Why did we get a Moody's upgrade? Because we could spend on our own fiscal stimulus, and at the same time, our deficit is a smaller percentage of GDP compared to our neighbors. In fact, in 2007, we virtually balanced the budget, and we could have balanced it in 2008, except that the world economic crisis happened. And what is the use of balancing the budget if it's going to be on the backs of the poor? So we had to do our own fiscal stimulus package, but our deficit this year of 3% is lower than the deficit of our neighboring countries, our peers, which is why Moody's said that we are more resilient and we deserve a credit upgrade. That is also why we were able to maintain positive economic growth during the global economic downturn up to the first quarter of 2001, while many of the rest in the region saw contractions. Our macroeconomic stability is a major strength that will put us in a stronger position as an attractive investment and business destination. In fact, to all those Brooklyn activists who say all those terrible things about our country and our administration, if during this crisis we were able to have a credit upgrade, if we are growing while many other countries are experiencing recession, if we have been able to create in these last 12 months 1.4 million jobs, while many other countries are losing jobs, we must be doing something right. Thank you. That said, yes, we have additional pressures. We're working hard to keep the global economic wave from washing over the Philippines. So we have been tireless in securing our fuel, food, and rice needs. Because of the revenues our senators and congressmen raised for us, we are investing in energy and rice self-sufficiency. We're building up our schools. We're jump-starting the economy with long-needed infrastructure. These projects are geared to investments in human and physical infrastructure, including education and healthcare, along with roads, bridges, and ports. For instance, in education, do you know that almost half of private high school enrollees are receiving government scholarships in private high schools? And do you know that in skills training, that's why our workforce continues to be so competitive, our administration is investing 3 times more than the 3 previous administrations combined. And as far as roads are concerned, I guess many of you have just come back, who've been to the Philippines, have been on the Subic-Tarlac Expressway. And well, that's the corridor that's overseen by Ed Pamintuan. It's everybody who passes it said, wow, it's like being in the first world. And yes, that's a preview, because our vision is to make the Philippines ready for the first world in 20 years. These infrastructure investments, human and physical, will ensure also that we are well positioned for higher growth once the global economy rebounds. One of the growth drivers in Asia, is our ingenuity and the ability to identify new opportunities and to play niche roles in the global economy. And in the Philippines, as I said earlier, a number of high growth, high potential industries that nobody ever thought could become a major driver of growth are now taking off and bringing unprecedented amounts of investment in our country, like BPO, like the 6,000 workers, which have become 600,000 workers. Have you ever heard of an industry that grew 100 times in an 8-year period? And so we are very happy that today the BPO and call center industry employs 600,000 young Filipinos. And another industry that is growing in a similarly dramatic manner is tourism. Nitoy Durano's son, Red Durano's brother, Ace Durano, is the Secretary of Tourism. And since he became Secretary of Tourism in 2004, up to today, tourism has almost doubled and has become a $5 billion industry. The good thing about tourism is that Ace calls it a big tent industry, because you have employment opportunities from the least skilled to the most skilled. It covers everyone. It accepts everyone of all levels of skills. And the jobs are very good. I remember the story of a single mother in southern, Lupita and I were there in Bajan Island. Remember Lupita? Beautiful spa. And there's the story of formerly single mother, hand to mouth as far as feeding her child was concerned. She became a spa therapist, and she's earning terrific now, and she has no more problems about the future of her child. So as I said, these are good paying jobs that keep our people at home and not abroad. And I repeat, we're doing our best to create good paying jobs at home, so that if any of you would want to go back home, or if any of you would want to stay, it's a choice. You can stay and have a good life. You can go back home and have a good life. That is our ambition for a Filipino American. Samantala, habang sinisikap natin maging ganon ang ekonomiya, sa hirap at ginhawa naman, kayo, ang ating mga kababayan na nasa ibang bansa, talagang pinapatatag rin ninyo ang ating ekonomiya. Yung padala ninyong $16 billion last year, noong isang taon, ay record. Record na nga noong isang taon, this year, tumataas pa kaysa noong isang taon. At pinakamalaking bahagi ng mga remittances ay nanggagaling dito mismo sa ating mga kababayan sa North America. Kaya maraming salamat sa inyo. I've given you a few pieces of good news. I've given you some news that Bert asked about our meetings in Washington. I hope that we can continue to exchange news, and I count on the continuing support of FIL USA and the FIL community. And thank you for being proudly Filipino. Maraming salamat sa inyo.